This article is about Central Station, and the heading, Overcrowded Central Station Must Be Rebuilt. With ever-increasing passenger numbers, it means something must be done to change at the station. Liverpool Central Station is so overcrowded, passengers could soon face restrictions on their movements. Rail bosses have won, and now they're campaigning for it to be rebuilt. Liverpool Central is one of the busiest stations in the UK outside London, even though it has only 3 platforms. And the Northern Line platform, which welcomes a train almost every 2 minutes, are heaving at rush hour. Passenger numbers have doubled over the past decade, and transport bosses say the Merseyside Rail network is getting busier and is likely to attract even more passengers once new larger trains are introduced. They say that unless the station is extended, then within a few years, restrictions, such as making passengers wait in the busy shopping centre upstairs, could have to be introduced to stop overcrowding. They say the crowding at Central could also affect other plans to extend the network, as the station would not have the capacity to cope with the extra passenger numbers. Merseytravel and Merseyrail are in talks with the government and with AIGA, owner of the land above Central, over plans to extend the station to make more space. Merseyrail Managing Director Andy Heath and Merseytravel Chairman Liam Robinson met the Echo at Central Station at 5:30 one weekday to show us how busy the station gets. Mr. Heath said bluntly, "We've got to get this station fit for purpose by the late 2020s. Doing nothing is not an option." The fundamental problem at Central is the Northern Line Island platform. There are trains arriving and leaving this congested double platform every 2 minutes, heading to and from Southport, Kirkby, Ormskirk and Hunts Cross. That means that at weekday rush hours and on Saturday afternoons, the platforms simply fill up. At a station like Lime Street, those passengers can be kept well apart on separate platforms. At Central, they all mingle, and passenger numbers have doubled in a decade, and it's getting busier. Figures on the Office of Rail Regulation website show that in 2006-07, the number of passengers entering the existing railway Central Station was 2.7 million. 10 years later, that stood at 16 million. By comparison, Lime Street saw 15.6 million passengers. Every 15 minutes, the Northern Line Island platform handles trains arriving and departing in Kirkby, Ormskirk, Southport and Hunts Cross. This means time is very tight. When a Kirkby train comes in, for example, it has just 4 minutes to detrain, load passengers and depart. We have a train almost every 2 minutes, the equivalent of a London Underground station. Merseyrail Managing Director Andy Heath is expecting this number using the network to grow even faster once new larger trains come into use next year. Mr. Heath said, "With new trains, we expect an 8 or 9% increase in passenger numbers. When you add that to a 2% organic growth, by 2023, it'll be a challenge. It'll be a real challenge." Platforms are barely wide enough to cope with the numbers of passengers. Things get even worse next to the escalators that come down from above, leaving only a narrow space between the wall and the platform edge. While access for passengers with mobility problems will become easier when new trains with level access are introduced, Central platforms will remain uncomfortably narrow. The congestion and narrowness means Merseyrail has to have extra staff on the platform at peak times. On our visit, they were helping passengers to the right trains and ensuring trains could leave on time despite the numbers of people. One of the staff had a microphone so she could make live announcements on the platform's PA system. Merseytravel and the Network Rail are warning that unless something is done, restrictions will be imposed. If we don't do anything to the platforms by mid-2020s, we will have to hold people in the upper part of the station. If you turn up for the Southport train, you may have to queue because we're letting passengers for Ormskirk down. Then when your platform is called, you can go. The system is similar to that implemented at Moorfields during big events, or when Central has been closed. But the large underground concourse at Moorfield makes it relatively easy. It would be a big problem at cramped Central. The solution sounds simple. The station needs to be expanded. It'll be complex and expensive, but studies are underway and talks are underway. The developer is now in control of Lewis's building and the largely empty land behind it, and wants to transform it into a retail and leisure complex called Circus. Meanwhile, Network Rail and Merseytravel want to expand Central, so all three parties are talking how they can work it together and make room for all. The scheme will cost a lot and needs central government support, but Merseyside Chairman is confident it will happen. We consider it a project of national importance, a project critical for this city and the wider region. It's a big project, it's one of the reasons we're talking to government, and this is key for the solution for all of us.